Hello everyone, this is Ella Massey. Today is Who's Who Thursday, April 4th, 2019. Every Thursday, I will be sharing a brief overview on a notable biblical figure. The Who's Who for today is Abraham. Abraham is remembered in the Bible as the father of faith and the ancestor of Noah's son Shem. Abraham's father was Terah. You can read more about it in Genesis chapter 11, verse 27. According to Genesis 12, Abraham was from Ur, a city in the southern part of Mesopotamia. Today, it is known as the modern-day Iraq. God called Abraham to leave his home to journey to the promised land of Canaan, where God promised to multiply his offspring and to make them into a great people and a blessing to the nation. Let's read Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 5. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all of their substance that they had gathered, and all the souls that had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. You can also read more about Abraham in Hebrews chapter 11, verses 8 through 19. He is listed here among those in the Hall of Faith. Abraham obeyed God, and God blessed him. You can read more about this in Genesis chapter 13. God had promised that Abraham would have children. See Genesis chapter 15 and verse 5 and Genesis chapter 22 and verse 17. When this did not take place as quickly as Abraham thought it should, he became impatient with God and took matters into his own control. Sarah, Abraham's wife, was still childless. So she told Abraham to sleep with her handmaiden so that they might get a child from the union. A son was born from this union. His name was Ishmael. However, this was not God's plan. God's promise was for the offspring of Abraham and Sarah's union. You can read more about this in Genesis chapter 15, verses 3 through 4. Isaac was the name of the son that came from the union of Abraham and Sarah. It would be through Isaac that the nations would be blessed. Abraham and Sarah were very happy with their new son, Isaac. However, God had a test for Abraham. God told Abraham, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. You can read about this in Genesis chapter 22 and verse 2. This had to be a tremendous shock to Abraham and Sarah. To be blessed with a long-awaited child, only to have God tell you you have to sacrifice that child. But Abraham obeyed God. Abraham took his son up to the mountain, laid him down, and prepared to kill him in obedience to God's command. However, God intervened by stopping Abraham from killing his son and providing a sacrifice in the form of a ram that was caught in a nearby brush. Abraham's faith had been tested and proved by his obedience to God. What are some lessons we can learn from the life of Abraham? 1. Wherever. Abraham obeyed God without knowing where he was going. 2. Whatever. Abraham obeyed God without knowing what he would be doing. 3. Whenever. Abraham obeyed God without knowing when God would complete the promise. Abraham offered up Isaac without knowing why God wanted him to do it. Abraham offered up Isaac even though he didn't know how God would fulfill the promises he had made. Abraham trusted God. In closing, I will leave you with something to think about. Where is God leading you? What is it He has put on your heart to do? And when will you do it? When God gets us to the point of saying, Lord, wherever, whatever, and whenever, He then is able to fulfill His promises in us. So will you trust God with your life? So until next time, stay thankful.